Alright, so good evening, everybody. We're back with Dan Zeal here. And, yeah. Trying to think of where we last left off. We had just, I think, started to do some of the runs for the Forbidden Tower with the Countess. And, at least that's the last time that I was live streaming and providing commentary along. I did have one additional session that I posted where I was live streaming but didn't provide any audio commentary, and I will probably do that from time to time now that we're getting into, you know, farming and just kind of having more dedicated farming sessions where, you know, there's not necessarily any commentary needed, but certainly any time where I do something where I'm leveling up or, you know, crafting something or, you know, making changes or advancing quests or whatever, you know, I'll be on, you know, with the microphone, just kind of jumping in and sharing my thoughts as we go through. But there will be times where, you know, there'll just be kind of farming sessions, whether it's going to be key farming in the future or eventually lower Kuros runs, or so not with this character, but maybe with a different character. You know, just running the cows several times, whatever it is that, you know, there's not a whole lot necessarily to add by the audio commentary, but it's still nice just to be able to jump in, you know, briefly from time to time and do that. But anyway, so I did get in for about 40 or 50 minutes, I think. There was, you know, an interim stream, I guess. No commentary, but that is where I was just doing Countess runs, and you can see there's a couple of things that I picked up that I want to share. So first of all, most importantly, we got the Shale rune. And this is what we need in order to make our Crescent Moon longsword. Shale tier. So, very exciting. That's really cool. And so we're going to do that in just a minute. The other thing I did find was this 4 open socket Colossus Volge, which came off of one of the weapon racks down in the 5th level of the Countess. And so that is a really nice little piece for a Act 2 mercenary if we get to the point where we want to build an insight. I wouldn't put an infinity in this because it's not ethereal. If it was ethereal, then absolutely. But there is a weapon rack down there. I'll probably talk about that a little bit. That does provide Colossus Volges, and it's right next to an armor rack that provides tiaras. So there could be that I guess it's a good reason to hang on to that map for a little bit because, yeah. There could be some good, you know, some nice pieces that come out of there. So that was nice. And see, I already have the Ral Tier Tal Soul Insight Rune Word ready to go here and put it in here. Assuming we get to the point where we want to use an Act 2 mercenary. This character honestly probably doesn't even need it. But anyway, those are the big things. So we also got, looks like we got some battle boots. That's cool. And an unidentified amulet. And I also leveled up a little bit. So, yeah, level 67 is a really good spot to kind of be farming, checking things out, seeing what Charcy has, you know, doing a lot of, or really any vendor, doing a lot of just building up, continuing to gear out your character. And it's kind of a fun time because there's a lot of cool things that are out there that will definitely benefit the character. It's not like we're so high level that, you know, things just kind of stall out. So, anyway, we've got 100 base value strength. That's probably good for now. So, we can just go back to pumping vitality again. And then popping over to our traps. And this will basically officially, all but officially, max us out. We'll have our Shockweb and Charge Bolt Sentry fully maxed now. So all of these are totally to the maximum, meaning that our Lightning Sentry is now going to do pretty much the highest amount of damage just based on synergies. So now we're going to start looking at getting this Death Sentry going with the remaining levels that we have with this character. Other than that, you know, we have our Fade, we have our little bit of burst of speed, we have, you know, the Mind Blast, which you've seen is really beneficial, and then, you know, we won't do anything in the martial arts. So, yeah, next step is probably going to be to just start expanding the reach of our Death Sentry so that it reaches a wider radius with those corpse explosions, and at some point we'll probably put some extra points into Fire Blast as well, because that will increase the number of shots that we'll get out of the Death Sentry. So, but before we get too far, actually, let's just go check Charcy real quick. This is, and she, of course, she just has no boots or gloves, but that's really what we're looking for. Boots or gloves that have, you know, something interesting on them. That is not good. And 8% magic find, not really worth it either. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this Ral rune in. It's just the number of Ral runes we've gotten is just ridiculous. And this is an Ith rune, which I guess I'll hold on to for now, but I don't really need it. And we have plenty of healing potions, but not really that many mana potions. Let's go talk to Akara and restock on the mana potions. I think go ahead and make our Crescent Moon right now. So, longsword. We have enough dexterity for it. That was one of the things we had to do. Get up to 39 dexterity so we can use the longsword. And now we'll grab our runes. Make sure that we get this right. I'll just double check one more time real quick. And you can usually just kind of, you know, Google it or whatever, but you know, a few different places online will have, you know, whether it's Diablo Wiki or you know, Icy Veins or the Ariat Summit even will give you rune words. So it's just a good idea to check before you throw them in. Shale Umtir. Alright, so here we go. Here's the Shale rune. The rune. And the Tyr rune. And there we have a Crescent Moon, which is fantastic. And you see the thing that makes it so good is 20% increased attack speed. Really nice on a longsword, absolutely, we'll take it. The ignore target's defense doesn't matter, but negative 35 to enemy lightning resistance is going to be so huge. As I pointed out, that's a multiplier factor for our lightning damage. For the most part, we're going to more than double our lightning output with that, as well as occasionally piercing enemy resistances, which is fantastic. Magic Absorb is nice. There'll be some, you know, magic damage that we will be able to negate with that. And the 2 to mana after each kill, that's a nice little bonus too. So let's go ahead and just throw that right on. And I think at this point, let's go ahead and rescue Kane, just so we don't have to keep worrying about all of these scrolls of identification. So, let's go to, what is it? I guess it's the Dark Wood, right? That's where we're going to find the Scroll of Benefice. Let's see how this Crescent Moon plays out. It'd be interesting to see if there are any characters that are, or not characters, but monsters that would normally be immune to lightning that, you know, no longer show up that way. Now look at that guy. He was lightning enchanted and he just went down in a pile. Normally, lightning enchanted monsters are a little bit tougher because they have lightning resistance, but with that crescent moon piercing the resistances, that was definitely a difference maker there. And it doesn't necessarily seem like it. But yeah, this is going to make a tremendous difference. Let's see what this chaos armor is now. Single socket, that's not going to be any good. Crystalline globe, that's... Nope. Pick up these full rejuvenation potion. Ah, just 2 shots really, and these guys are going down if they don't have any inherent lightning resistance. So this crescent moon is really, yeah, it's actually, I think, my first time making that rune word on an assassin, because they just changed it recently. Yeah, he's magic resistant, and even Treehead was like, can't stand up to the crescent moon. They used to have it be that assassin traps worked outside of your character. So if you were wearing something that was a piece of gear that lowered enemy lightning resistance, so something like Griffin's Eye. Let's just go ahead and level up again real quick here. Go up to probably about 275 vitality. And you can see that our life has gone down because we got rid of the spirit, and that's why it's going to be really nice if we can find a monarch shield that we can add the spirit rune word to, so we get some of those skills back, and some of that life back, because it's definitely a bonus. But in order to wear a spirit shield, we're going to have to get up to, I think it's 156 strength. So once we get to 275, I'm going to start plussing up this strength value again. We'll go up to maybe 120 strength or so, just so that in case we do find this a monarch, it's not quite such a heavy lift to put all those points in to get up to 150. Okay, so here we will just go up to a little more Death Sentry, and we'll bump this up until we get to maybe 10 or 11. And yeah, and you can see here our traps, we're only adding a little bit to our skills here. So it's not as impressive. It would be nice to get some more plus skills gear. Again, another reason why it would be great to get that that spirit shield. But that's going to take a little bit of farming. We're going to have to try to find a monarch, etc., etc. Okay, so now we can go rescue Cain, go back to the stony field. Try to remember where Rakanishu and his friends are. Right. And he is still immune to lightning. So, you can cast some Death Sentries there. That'll blow up the corpses. He'll take damage from that. But without that... Let's see if we can break him. No, we can't break him even with lower resists, so that's really annoying. That's okay. And Hell Tristram, actually not a bad place to farm, because there are often a handful of minion groups, like, mini boss packs, around that will, and I don't know, I just ran to get Wirt's leg as though I was, you know, cow farming. That just shows you how many times I've done this. But those guys are immune to lightning, so they're not going to care about my lightning drops at all. Clearly most of these guys are immune to lightning, so at this point there's not really much point in sticking around here. But at least we got Kane. And now he will identify items for us, which is great. Okay, let's go back to the Black Marsh. And, go ahead. Goodness. Hold on. Or, Holy Freak. We're going, that's the other thing too, we're going through mana so much faster than we used to, because again, that spirit added a bunch of additional energy and mana to our build, so that's another thing to just keep in mind. Let's go ahead and see what's the hole. Is this the Tomo Highland up here? I thought this was... Oh, that's the Dark Wood. So, we need to follow this up to the Tomo Highland and get to, that waypoint. I think what we're going to do today is we're going to try to finish, at least finish, Act 1 of Normal. Kill Andariel, and just keep charging our way through this, at least get into Act 2. But there is still a tremendous amount of benefit to doing Countess runs. God, these guys are really annoying to follow their spines. They shoot at you. Well, there's a Shale Rune right there. Should've just waited for that one. But anyway, that kind of brings me to my next point, because there's still a lot of value to farming the Countess, because one of the things that we could use is a new armor to replace our stealth. Stealth is good, but there are some armors that would be a little bit better at this point. And really, there's two great candidates for this. One would be a Treachery, which is an armor that a lot of people like to make, especially for mercenaries. And Treachery, the beauty of Treachery is it gives you +2 to assassin skill levels. So again, we would recoup some of those skills that we lost by getting rid of the Spirit Sword. And the other thing that Treachery would do is it gives you additional attack speed. So we would hit the maximum attack speed with and for casting traps, which is also really helpful. Let's just check and see what Tercy has here. Defense, charge bolt, mana steal. No, I don't think she's got anything good here. Nope. But that Shale Rune is nice. Have to figure out what we're gonna do with that. Let's see. What is this? This is a 2 open socket. Crystal sword. Yeah. Just put that shale in here because I don't know what exactly we're gonna do with it yet. Is there anything in our cube? Oh yeah. 2 to assassin skill levels. kind of nice. That's one of those things that, you know, you just hang on to it because it's basically as good as a spirit sword in terms of casting buffs or whatever on yourself. However, it does have 76 required dexterity, which, are we ever really going to use that? Probably not. So the reality is I probably don't keep that. Let's go ahead and just farm the Countess again real quick. Just run down there and, well, actually, first before we do that, let's just push all the way to Andariel. I went the wrong way. Guess it's up this way. You can tell which exit it's going to be for the barracks and the jail because there's only so many maps for this outer cloister. Yeah. I think I started saying earlier that I'd never made a crescent moon for my assassin, and that is because it didn't used to work. Traps were treated as like their own sort of entities. And so, as an assassin, if you were wearing something that lowered enemy resistance to lightning, it would really only count to skills that you yourself cast, right? So if you cast a shock web, then that shock web would have the lower resistance to enemies, but your traps, which were casting lightning out of them, would not. And they changed that not that long ago. It was a relatively recent patch in which they changed this. Again, it's just one of those things that just kind of makes sense. And it had the effect, of course, of buffing... What is this? This is a single socket, so it's not going to be anything good. But of course it had the effect of buffing the assassin and her traps, because now... Go ahead. Got myself really stuck back here, didn't I? Alright, took care of him. Out of mana potions again, though. I'm telling you, not having that spirit is definitely getting annoying. And I'm going to use as many excuses as I can to go back to town anyway, because I really want to keep checking Charcy for gloves and boots. You see this? Oh, it's a kite shield. I thought it might be a monarch. Resist 12 is not bad. Let's see what this wand is. Lust of Zeal, kind of interesting. Why a necromancer would ever use Zeal? They wouldn't. What ring did you give me, Akara? Mana, attack rating, magic find, not really anywhere near enough of that to make it worthwhile. So yeah, if you were an assassin before they made that change, you know, you could have Griffin's Eye, you could have Crescent Moon, and it didn't matter. Your traps would just pretend that those things didn't exist. So again, one of those things that they made the change. It makes a little bit more sense now. And we can all move on. But it makes the assassin, especially, you know, the lightning assassin, that much stronger, because there are some really good weapons like Crescent Moon. There are some really nice pieces of gear like Griffin's Eye. That that now will work with all of your lightning traps. What am I trying to do here? So, Jiminy Crickets. That's a lot of tainteds. And they are immune to lightning, so I don't even want to try to mess with that. Now these Death Clan guys... What, Tusk Sword? Unique Tusk Sword. I don't know what weapon that is. I think the Tusk Sword is a... Yeah, it's a tall one. But that could be pretty nice unique item. I mean, it's not going to be anything we can use, because we're just, you know, our character doesn't use melee weapons like that, but always fun finding unique items. Anyway, so I was talking about some of the rune words that we can still be looking for, some of the runes we can be on the hunt for as we go through here. And I mentioned Treachery. A lot of people like to give that to a mercenary, and the reason people give that one to a mercenary is because it has a chance to cast a level 15 Fade. And you remember that the Fade aura is the one that, I should actually activate it right now, kind of fades your character out. And it gives you physical resistance, and it also increases all of your elemental resistances, so fire, lightning, poison, and cold. And it's really nice for especially hell difficulty, where your resistances are dropped significantly. And it's great for big boss fights. It's great for things like the Uber bosses, which I haven't really gotten into at all yet. Discussing. But it's just a good armor that pluses up those resistances, because resistances honestly are a huge part of your survivability in the game, which presumably if you've been watching, you've figured out by now. Thought there might be a path there. There isn't. Here's the path down. The only problem with the... And so for a lot of classes, the Treachery rune word is a really great one, because the increased attack speed is fantastic. The chance to cast Fade is fantastic. But the bummer about it is that if you're an assassin, that chance to cast Fade, you can see that if I have a Burst of Speed active, and then I cast Fade, my Burst of Speed goes away. And that's the same thing with the armor, that if the if the Fade gets cast while you're wearing it, because it's a chance to cast it every time you get hit. What is this? This is the Vile Tusk Sword. Chance to cast level 1 amplified damage on striking. That's pretty nice. That could be useful for a for like an Act 5 barbarian. Using Frenzy or something like that, and they cast Amplify damage, and then if you're a physical damage dealing character, that's a nice amulet to give to a mercenary, or not amulet, that's a nice sword to give to a mercenary. Alright, what do we got for gloves? Defense. Nope, still a whole bunch of nothing. So even though the +2 to assassin skills literally doesn't benefit any other class, it's still something you'll see a ton. Goodness, that looks like a really unfun group of people to fight. Check out that Grand Charm, that could be really nice. Or Dexterity, it's terrible. Alright, let's make our way down the catacombs and see if we can find Andariel. If we have a good Andariel map, then it may be worth farming Andariel a little bit as we, continue to build the character up a little bit. And what I mean by a good Andariel map is, one that it's not too long of a run to get from the waypoint down to the catacombs level 3 where she is. So that's the benefit of having treachery. Always my least favorite. And I ran all the way up here for nothing. That's the benefit of having treachery. The additional skills are nice. The overwriting of our burst of speed, which will slow down our run walk speed, but it will also potentially, it could knock us off the top breakpoint, although treachery does come with a 45% increase to your attack speed. So I think we would probably stay at the maximum or I guess I should say the minimum, but it actually turns out to be the maximum attack speed for our trap laying speed if we ended up wearing the treachery and just ran Fade most of the time. You just kind of leave it on when the Fade procs. The negative aspects of treachery, or sorry, I shouldn't say that. The alternative to treachery, though, would be a hustle armor. And hustle is a armor that another one of those rune words that they introduced recently. see, we can kill those tainteds once we get some bodies to explode with our corpse explosion. Even though they're immune to lightning, our corpse explosion does help to clean them up. So that's one nice thing about kind of boosting up that death sentry, is so that corpse explosion. I want out of that room. Thank you. That Mind Blast is such a clutch skill that way. Just being able to push people out of the way, convert them, give yourself kind of instant tanks. Another Grand Charm. And this is Catacombs level 2, so there should be a waypoint on this level. We definitely want to make sure we find that. Anyway, Hustle is the other armor, and here's the waypoint that we could make. And so for Treachery, we're going to need a Shale rune and a Lem rune. So we have the Shale. The Lem rune would be the one that we would need to get from the Countess. And I don't remember what the Hustle rune is. I want to say it's like Ko or something like that. It's another one of those kind of mid-level runes. Let's see what the charms are. 33 to life. That's 29. This is the 17 cold res and 33 to life. What's this one? Fire resist, strength, hit recovery. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of this one. We'll keep the 33. I wish it had something else on it though. Just 33 to life is, it's a little on the weak side. Resist 18. I don't want to say weak. It's not weak. It's a nice. It's definitely a nice charm. I forgot to check. Let's see what she's got. Strength, recovery, freeze duration, 3 to bow and crossbow skills. Really nice. If this had 20% increased attack speed, that would be pretty much. I'm not going to say best in slot, but that would be one of the very best weapons that you could get for a bow and crossbow, or actually a boazon doing elemental damage. A physical damage boazon would not necessarily want that. They would be looking for one that would do, they'd probably be looking for something that has more benefits to physical skills, but this would be great for a boazon. But without the 20% increased attack speed, not that useful. Alright. We're starting to save up a lot of these full rejuvenation potions too, so we just start stockpiling those. Also in our bar. Okay. Just based on the look of this, it doesn't look like this is going to be a super good map. But you never know. You have to run past all of this stuff. Go through here. Is this the way down? No, it's not. Way down is going to be kind of on the other side of the map here. So I don't think this is going to end up being one of those nice and easy Andariel maps. There's a circlet. You never know. Sometimes circlets can be really nice. Dead end here. Okay, so hustle. What does the hustle armor do? The hustle armor gives, first of all, it gives a ton of run walk speed, as you might imagine. And it gives a little bit of resistances, which is nice. And it gives +2 evade, which is the Amazon skill that allows you to just basically dodge ranged attacks. All of that is really nice. And the thing that makes a hustle armor really good is that we could go ahead and just run fade anyway with it, because it has a huge bonus to your run walk speed, along with a bonus to your attack rating. So, you know, hustle would be another armor that I would be very happy to put on. But I think at this point we just kind of have to see what the Countess gives us. Oh gosh, no, I don't want to fight those guys. Ah, he's darn tainted. Here's where... Boy, I wish that was a little bit less clunky. And... we can just pop on that teleport staff. And use that to get to where we need to go. Alright. Nope. Let's go the other way, see if it's down here. Spiderweb sash, a little bit more. That would have been an incredible drop if it had been. If we had just a little bit more magic find, probably a lot more magic find, and had managed to make that the Arachid Mesh Spiderweb sash. Again, one of the most highly sought after items in the game. Just trying to find a way down here. There it is. So again, not a great map for this. But we can kill Andariel. Those death sentries do their work against the tainted guy. this is getting really annoying. Too many tainteds down there. Let's talk to Deckard King. And here would be a time, you know, we could, I suppose, hire a mercenary or something, but the juice is worth the squeeze. We will simply damage reduced. We will simply just kill Andariel, dodge the tainted, and go from there. Oops. Really, the problem that we're running into is that the lightning bolts are spending a lot of time attacking the tainted guys, and not enough time attacking Andariel. Ugh. Just come up here. Let's see. We can get these guys to just park over here. Come on. Come on. Alright, and now those guys was cold immune too, which is just really extra fun. But she'll die very quickly, right? Because we just do so much damage with those lightning traps. It's basically just anything that's not immune to lightning is just going to melt. So. Great victory indeed. $45 to life. You know, if this was like 75, 85 to life, I'd probably consider it. Chip Skull, not really going to be worth anything. Thinking here, do we need diamonds, chip diamonds for anything? I really don't think so. Let's go restock with Akara. And then let's make sure we get the Andariel bug, which is not really a thing in this game anymore. And go east to Loot Golem. But the main reason I want to do this is to get into a situation where we can just continue to do these Countess runs. So let's go back to the Black Marsh. Run the tower. And, yeah. can see those archers are still immune, so our 35% does not break the immunity. But it does kill all these other guys quite quickly. Always worth killing the ghosts if you can, because they do have a little bit increased chance of dropping runes, interestingly enough. That crowbill is just always there. So I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but weapon racks, they seem like they should be random, but they are not. And that is why... Oh no, I don't want to go in there and fight a bunch of archers. You know, a weapon rack and an armor rack seem like they would just give you some random piece of armor or something that is there. But instead, they are, they seem to be tied somehow to the, like the seed of the map, the random seed that's on the map. A hell rune. Okay. An ore rune. Don't really care about that. And what I mean when I say the seed that's on the map, so like the location that the location that the weapon rack is in on the map, and interesting, we haven't... It feels like the same ones that we saw before. As I was saying, the location that the weapon rack or the armor rack is on the map seems to have some kind of an influence on, you know what, and I'm just going to sell these because I know we're not going to ever use them. Seems to have an influence over the type of weapons that drop from them. So typically speaking, if there are no other... Just check and see what Farah has here. Again, 2 to javelin and spear skills. If they had 20% attack speed, be pretty good. Pretty good. Would be a pretty nice little set of gloves. So if there's no other monsters on the map, faster run walk, increase attack speed, some good stuff there, but not quite enough. 93 to life and 7 mana. Hello. Wow, that may be good enough. I don't necessarily want to go negative fire resist, but that is a really nice belt. Certainly better than... I was just about to say it's definitely better than that one, but no, I'm not so sure. That 97 life is huge. Let's go ahead and just plow through some of Act 2 while we, while we're at it. Unfortunately, all these beetles are going to be probably immune to lightning, so really just going to try to run through this act as quickly as possible. that's a dead end. I thought that might take us up there. But yeah, if there are no other monsters on the map and you come across or at least no other monsters in the vicinity, and you come across a weapon rack or an armor stand, then you will almost always get the same kind of armor or weapon. So you could find one that drops Colossus Vultures. You could find one that drops tiaras, like we have down on the Countess level 5. You could find one that drops Monarchs. You could find one that drops Threshers. You could find one that drops a particular kind of Assassin Claw, right? It's just the way that, for whatever reason, the game is coded, is that the random seed is not actually random. And that random seed gets interrupted if there are other monsters. Dry Hills. If there are other monsters in the area, lightning, so I'm not going to bother with that. That will kind of throw off the game a little bit, and it will result in not finding the same weapon that you were kind of expecting to. But if you ever find one that has the type of, a type of base that you're really looking for, they can also drop unique items. So if you find one that drops the base for a unique item that you're looking for, then that is a very good area to farm. You can just farm the weapon rack and go over and over again until you finally get it to drop the right, whether you're looking for an ethereal base or a base with a certain number of sockets or the unique version of it or whatever it is. So the thing I like about the Countess that we happen to have here is that here is the waypoint. The thing I like about the Countess that we have here is that it gives us we've got a Colossus Vulge and we have a tiara. And the unique tiara is Kira's Guardian, which is a pretty rare item and would be a great benefit for this character because it gives cannot be frozen and a bunch of resistances, and that would free up some gear slots in other places for us. And again, an Ethereal Colossus Vulge is almost the perfect weapon for a mercenary. So those are things that I don't mind going to those weapon racks over and over again to find that stuff. We are in the Lost City, so we are looking for... Oh, hey, we got the waypoint, that's nice. We're looking for the Claw Vipers. Yeah, we've still got plenty of charges left on that. So, yeah, that's one other reason why that's kind of a nice Countess map to just farm over and over again. And we will probably spend some time doing exactly that. Yeah, these guys are just gonna eat damage like... I don't think there's a whole lot that's gonna do anything right now. And that Death Sentry is gonna make it that they can't really resurrect all these guys all the time. I mean, it's just a good build. Guys look like... Okay. Something just really methodical to it about the way that you drop those traps, wait for something to die, and then just dump the Death Sentry there to clean everything up. Kind of rude, the way those guys didn't just let me play. Oh my gosh. I mean, that should be an instant death for a lot of characters. Just open up that door, and there's a bunch of fanaticism, charged snakes in there. Ridiculous. Not this character. It's just gonna be a bunch of snakes. So, I think we'll do here just to kind of wrap it up for the day is we will at least fill out, we'll get the Claw Viper amulet. And I will also get the, I'm going to see if I can get the Heraldric Staff as well. So we have all of those pieces ready to go. Maybe we'll run the Arcane Sanctuary too one time. Just to see what's there. This character does extremely well with the Arcane Sanctuary. The Arcane Sanctuary works really well for characters that do lightning damage, especially if they do kind of linear lightning damage, because there's all those long walkways. And of course, this character does a ton of lightning damage. Alright, let's see what we got here. A one-socketed circlet, not good enough. 1 to druid skill levels. Kinda nice if we ever decide to make a druid. But we probably won't. Just never made one. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Yeah, sure. We'll make another... Perfect gem. And perfect gems are fairly useful because perfect gems can be used to re-roll magic items. And that's really good for grand charms that are skillers or have the ability to be skillers. You can reroll grand charms until you get one that has the type of skill that you want. So I'll just keep plussing up that death sentry to expand the radius. We'll just check in with Elzix real quick because he tends to have a lot of gloves. 21 magic find, nice. Be great if it had anything else on it. Fire resist 30. Yeah. Nope. Okay. Let's do Far Oasis. We'll find the maggot layer. Clear that out. So, goodness. I should be dead. Maybe I still am. Must have gotten super poisoned there. Yep. That's what happened. Well, and then we arrived just in time for the poison to wear off. Oh well. Only 5 sockets on the superior side, but a scythe is just not a high enough weapon. So what is it that this character does the best? You know, what are things that people use assassins for, specifically trap assassins for in the end game? One of the things they use them for, and one of the things that we'll certainly be using this character for, is farming keys for the Ubers. So, probably talk about the whole way the Ubers work in another at another time, but basically there are 3 keys that you need to get in order to go get the Uber's bosses, which are like the final end game content of this game. And oh, that's nice. That's a very convenient first level of the maggot layer. And this is going to just be a little bit annoying because oops, there's a monarch. Fingers crossed that it's 4 sockets, guys. 4 sockets. Oh, a foul rune too. All right. And 2 sockets. So we could put a rhyme shield, a rhyme rune word in there, but there's really no reason to do that. We are going to go ahead, go back and get some more mana potions. This is just going to be one of those annoying places. And actually, we may just rely on that to get us out of it. 24% extra gold, not good enough. 2-socketed monarch, I don't think this is worth keeping. But if it was a white monarch, that we probably would have taken to Nightmare Larzik and used. You can see it's 156 strength required for this one. And we would have put a spirit in it because a spirit would pair really nicely with this crescent moon. Oh well, next time. That's a pretty horrible ring. Alright, what do we got here? Nope, not another emerald. Although, maybe next time we get a grand charm. Actually, does Farah still have it? She does. We'll just show how this works. So, put the charm in here. And we'll just take 2 Topazes can be useful, so let's not do that. Take emeralds, which are really not terribly useful. Diamonds are good for resistances. And transmute it, and it is now +2 to maximum damage. Also pretty bad. Just do this. One more time. It's not a bad way just to kind of free up a little inventory space here. And went back to being more gold from monsters. So that ended up being ultimately completely fruitless. But, you know, you could do that over and over again until you get a charm that you really want. Usually it's like a skill or charm of some sort. I don't know what to do with this fall. Okay. And here I think and of course he's lightning enchanted. Why wouldn't he be? Yep, there we go. Alright. Oi. That was not great. And here's where maybe it makes sense to grab that mercenary, just to kind of help get through this, although I don't know. Looking at this, you know, I guess we could give him like a dusk. No, what we would give him would be the Tal Rashas. And I don't think I have a Lum rune, right? No, but I could give him the Raltir Tal Soil. Do I have a Lum rune? I do have a Lum rune. My goodness. I could give him the... Could give him a smoke. He would be pretty much unstoppable then. Let's see how this goes. Let's see if we can get through this. If we have another kind of catastrophe like that, then maybe we'll just see if we can get a mercenary. What is this? 20? No. Lightning resist? A lot of lightning resist. Faster run walk and I would be all over that. Nope. Okay. Let's see how bad this is. Alright. Game, you have forced my hand. So... we will go ahead and just get a mercenary. Yeah, sure. We'll use the trellised armor. I mean, we have all the stuff. We might as well just do it. And I think it's Nephilim makes the smoke armor. Yep, Nephilim. So we'll do Neph. Actually, I think this is defensive 143, this is defensive 195. We'll just put it in the Kleros. Neph. There's a smoke. Beauty there is its additional hit recovery, its additional resistances. Just a nice overall Kleros. And then here, the only thing I'm not sure about is, will they have enough strength at this level? I don't know. Let's find out. Ral. Tier. Tal. And that's going to be an insight with a 16 meditation aura? Sure, that'll work. I'll take it. And let us hope that these guys have enough strength. They should have enough. Let's hire... Emilio. Nope, I want to go with a Holy Freeze. So Jamali or Gulzar. Or Vikiat. Let's go with Jamali here. Yep. And you do not have enough strength, Jamali.
I'll put that to good use.
You are terrible. How can we get Jamali more strength? I don't know if we can. That will give him...
I'll put that to good use.
some good stuff. But that is really disappointing. And that's why it's nice to have a an ethereal version of this. Because it's going to be a little bit before he can even use this, which is a bummer, because that would have been a nice weapon for him. So instead, we will just find a pike. Maximum damage. Poison damage, no. I guess we'll give him the pike of butchery.
I'll put that to good use.
Alright, Jamali. We're counting on you, buddy. Just to help us clear out this one pretty nasty area. Anytime you want that Holy Freeze aura to start, that would be good, but...
Thanks.
There it is. And he died. Just not doing enough damage right now. Maybe this is when... maybe we need to give him the Kelpie Snare. should help him quite a bit. Yeah. It's ethereal. Gonna do a ton more damage
That to good use.
than what he's already doing. And the Kelpie Snare will slow target. So, yeah. I forgot we had this. Alright, Jamali. Let's try this again. There we go. He's got his Holy Freeze now. All we need to do is kill one. Just kind of follow him in. And now he's doing enough damage with the weapon now.
I can't use that.
At least that's the idea, is that he's doing enough damage with the weapon now that he can steal life back. And that helps keep him alive. Alright, Jamali, get in there. Wonder if my... Yeah, you know, my Fire Blast will help just a little bit here, too. Between his cold damage, his physical damage, and my fire damage, the occasional Death Sentry, we're doing okay. Alright. Well, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done. I guess that Kraken shell will be worth a bit of gold. Yeah. All right. Sell this for a bunch of money. That too. Don't need this right now. What the heck is this, the woe stave? Yeah, no, I think the Kelpie snare is still better. And yeah, that's fine. Guess we'll just store this in here for the time being. Let's just get our way down to the Arcane Sanctuary. And then we will call it for the evening. Alright, thank you. Let me go to the palace. Alright, and Arcane Sanctuary. Cool. One more quick jaunt through Luco Lane to just check out the vendors. Ooh, just 20 IAS, that's it. Attack rating. Every time you see... That's close to 30 run walk, and could have been any other mod, it would have been great. You know, like a resistance mod or something. Anytime you see these sort of like dark gold or almost greenish colored gloves, they're guaranteed to have the 20% increased attack speed on it. So those are the ones you definitely want to check out. Unfortunately, these just have 20% increased attack speed, but if they had anything else on them, they would be a strong contender for gloves to pick up for sure. Okay. So, we've done Charcy, most of this, and next time I get on, we will probably do some more of the Arcane Sanctuary. Just looking to see if there's anything on here. Is this just 2 elemental skills? I don't know why I'm holding on to that. Passive and magic, sure, I guess. This are the 220s, yeah, okay. Some good stuff in here. But in the meantime, we will leave it here for now. Next time, like I said, we will farm some more for either treachery or for hustle, in case we find that. It's going to depend on the runes that come up as we go through the Countess, and we may just farm the Arcane Sanctuary as well, because those are both places where we need to find keys for the Ubers, as well as just being generally good places to farm for runes and other items like that that we need. So, I will see you all then.